Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I welcome my new and existing subscribers. Welcome back to Vniks bags. So guys, today we're going to be making a backpack. We're going to be making this lovely school bag. Guys, make sure you watch this video till the end to get the full details. And also this video is going to be having part 1 and part 2. For this school bag, we're going to be cutting the back body and the bottom together. Our length is 23.5 inch and our width is 13 inches. After that, I'm going to use a round object to curve the top side edges. Next, for our front side of our school bag, we're going to be cutting 13 inches by 4 inches. We're going to be cutting 2 of that. One is for the top and the other is for the pocket. So guys, we're going to curve one of them, the one we're going to be using for the top of our bag. It's going to have the same curve as the back of the bag. So I'm going to repeat it to both sides. For our main back pocket, we're going to use 17 inches for the width and our length is going to be 10 inches. After that, I'm going to make a zipper pocket cutout on it. I'm going to measure 5.1 inch by both sides and I'll be left with 7 inches in the middle, and I'm going to measure 0.7 inches from the top, and then I'll join the points together. Next, I'm going to draw a slanted line from the horizontal line to the top. I'm going to cut out through the slanted line, then I'm going to apply gum on it and gum it in place. After that, our zipper pocket lining, we're going to be using 8 inches for the width and 14 inches for the length. Then our back pocket lining, we're going to use 14 inches for the width and 12 inches for the length, and we're going to cut 2 of that. Next, for our foam, we're going to use 14 inches for the width and I'm going to be using 14 inches for the length. We're going to cut the same measurement for our main lining, 14 inches by 40. For our handle, our school bag handle, we're going to use 20 inches for the length and 4 inches for the width. After that, I'm going to measure 1 inch from the bottom. I'm going to apply gum on the whole handle I'm going to fold the bottom on 1 inch, and I'm going to gum my foam on the other parts of the handle. After gumming my foam to my handle, I'm going to apply gum on my foam, and I'm going to fold it into 2 equal half with my leather. So guys, we're not going to rub the gum to the bottom. I'm going to leave a little space, about 3 inches, without gum, so I can use it to tuck in my belt. Now I'm going to use, my belt is 22 inches. I'm going to apply gum on my belt and apply gum on the leather, and I'm going to gum them to each other. When gumming your belt to your handle, make sure it is centered. I'm using a 1.5 inch belt. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to insert my adjuster. I'm going to push it in. I'm going to put one side of the adjuster inside. I'm going to tuck in the handle. So guys, you apply gum to tuck in the handle at the bottom. After that, I'm going to clip it in place, and we're going to be doing 2 of this. Moving on to our laptop padding, I'm using 12 inches for the width and 9 inches for the height. Then I'm going to cut my lining for that. We're going to fold it into 2 equal half, and I'm going to make sure there's allowance by the side edges and at the bottom edges. We're going to have 1 inch allowance at the side edges and the bottom edge. Next, for our zip side, we're going to use 2.25 by 31.5 inch, and I'm going to cut 2 of that. Also, we are cutting lining for our zip side with allowance. After that, we're going to cut our bottom side of the bag. For our bottom side, we're going to be using 5 inches for the width and 9 inches for the length. I'm going to cut 2 of that, and I'm also going to cut the lining with allowance. And guys, lastly, for our handle belt holder, we're using 2.5" by 4. We're going to cut 2 of that, and I'm going to use 20 inches from my 1.5" belt. I'm also cutting 2 of that. So guys, now we're done with cutting our bag. Let's move into the sewing aspect. First of all, we're going to sew our handle. So I'm going to sew it from the belt. We're just sewing it from the belt, and we're sewing it at the left edges and at the bottom edge. So guys, now we're done sewing our handle. Next, we're going to sew our handle holder to our belt. First of all, I'm going to sew it right side together, starting from the middle. After that, we're going to bend it a little bit and fold it into 2 equal halves, and we're going to stitch it on top. I'm going to repeat the same process to the second handle. Now guys, I'm going to mark 2 inches from the top, and I'm going to notch the middle of my bag. Next, I'm going to cut a 1-inch belt. I use 6 inches for the length. I'm going to sew it at the middle. It's going to be at the middle. The hands are going to be after the belt, one at the left edge and one at the right edge. And I'm going to be stitching it above the 2 inches mark. After that guys, we're going to sew our belt on it. Our belt is going to be starting from 1.5 inch from the top, and make sure you lock your handles properly. So we are going to be sewing the belt at the top and at the bottom. Now we're going to sew the side handle strap. I'm going to measure 7.5 inch from the bottom, and I'm going to make a mark. I'm going to measure it at both sides. So I'm going to sew my handle connector is going to stop at the line, at that line. So now guys, for our handle connector, we're going to cut it slant. We're going to cut it out slantly, and I'm going to sew it. Make sure the belt is facing up. The strap should be facing up when you're sewing it, and I'm going to sew it to my body, the body of my bag. Next, I'm going to pass my belt through my adjuster and I'm going to fold the edge of the belt. Now we're moving to the back of our bag. So first of all, we're going to sew our zipper cutout pocket. So guys, I'm going to sew my zip and my lining right side up. I'm going to sew the left side and the right side together. After that, I'm going to use my bag clips to hold it in place. Then I'm going to sew the sides together. Next guys, I'm going to install my zipper pull. Then I'm going to apply gum at the edge of my zip and at the edge of my cutout. I'm going to gum my zip in place. Now guys, we're going to flip our pocket over to sew the bottom of our zipper pocket. After that, I'm going to flip it back down to sew this left and right edge. After that, now we're going to pleat our pocket. I'm going to mark 2 from the edge. After 2, I'm going to mark 3. So I'm going to pleat the 3 inches. I'm going to repeat the same process to the right side, and I'm going to sew it to hold it in place at the top and at the bottom of my pocket. So guys, after pleating, you should be left with 13 inches. Next, I'm going to sew the pocket top right side together, and I'm going to top stitch it at the front. Next, we're going to sew our second back pocket. So guys, now I'm going to sew my zip, and to the top of my back top, I'm going to sew it right side together. I'm also going to sew my front top to my front pocket. I'm going to sew it with the zip right side together. After that, I'm going to lining them, and I'm going to top stitch it in front. After top stitching, we're going to sew the lining round, and I'm going to install my zipper pull and trim off the excess. Next, we're going to line in the front pocket of our bag. So I'm going to sew it to my lining, and I'm going to trim off the excess. So guys, we've come to the end of part 1 of this video. Watch out for the part 2 of this video. And guys, if you've not subscribed by now, I don't know what you're waiting for. Thank you for watching this video and have a lovely day ahead.